Mercato is crazy. Ah, la 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 la. Mercato is crazy. Ah, la 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 la. Mercato is crazy tonight. Mercato is crazy tonight. Mercato is crazy tonight. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Mercato is crazy tonight. La 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 la. Mercato is crazy tonight. La 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 la.
Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you are all doing well and prepared for a late night live about Juventus. Let's speak about everything what's going on in the last few days. I tell you the truth, at the moment, updates about Mercato, real fresh updates about Mercato, we don't have a lot. I'm still waiting because Di Marzio is still speaking on Sky Sport Italia about the Mercato, but at the moment we have no new updates, no confirmation on Timothy Castagni, for example, that was a name really linked to Juve in the past days, no confirmation on Parisi. Confirmation I speak, because there is a news about Parisi, but to be honest there is not a lot of exciting big news. So what can we do? We can already start speaking about what happened in the last few days and of course make a point of everything that you want to know. So let me first start saying hello to all the people, to Thomas Makluf, to Softic that is there as well, late today. Usually Softic is not always that late on the channel, so I'm really happy for him to be there, like Mikey Mazzarese, Sir Raz, who's saying that he can't stay today. Ciao Edwin Neskic, ciao to Catalin. They think, does it really matter if Giuntoli comes or not at Juve? Well, you saw on the paper, on the front page, you saw Giuntoli and Zaniolo with the title They All Dream About Juve, but, and these are two big topics that we can speak about, except of course if there is a last minute news that will pop up at a certain moment about Juventus. So how are you doing, my friends? Let me know. Ciao Massimo Pegoli. I was about to sleep, but then I saw that there was a notification. I changed my mind. We'll try not to do a long one, again, because there are not so many big news, except, of course, you never know, because Mercato is crazy. Mercato never sleep. From the moment that I'm speaking to 2 minutes in the future, they can happen something. Something can happen. Ciao Canan. Ciao, my friend. Ciao Famous. Ciao Skrika. Mamma mia. Ciao Srikar, how are you doing, guys? Samuele Ricci to Juve. Where are you inventing these kind of ideas, guys? I never heard about that. Ricci, defender of the young Italy. No, he played with the national team, I believe. He did quite well, Ricci, Torino player. Really well, really well. But no, there is no news about him to Juve. Never heard about that. At least I didn't heard about it. Maybe you did. I didn't. Okay. What do we start with? What is the first question? Do we start speaking about Zaniolo? Maxi interview in Gazzetta dello Sport? Do we start speaking about Giuntoli? Do we start speaking about whatever, other names, whatever you want to know? Let me know so that we can start immediately. Ciao Enrico Franchi. Ciao to Mikey Mazzarese. Again, I think, Beppe, if we don't get Zaniolo this year, I believe we will never get him. Well, Mercato, you know, guys, everything can happen always during the Mercato. And that it's this year or in 5 years. You know, it's the same story for Milik, Paredes, even Rabiot. These were players that we were chasing for so many years. And every summer or winter, it was, no, not this year. And we were quite happy that they were not coming to Juve. And at the end, they all arrived. And we have so many examples of other players that at a certain moment of their career, after even 5-6 years, they join Juve. Ciao to Stavros, Giorgio, that is becoming a member for 17 months. In Grande Beppe, you are the GOAT, my friend. Forza Juve. No, I am not the GOAT. If we are speaking about goats, real goats, the real goats, they are the goats of the ones that are going on the field, and hopefully Weah can become a goat. So what do we start speaking? Weah, Giuntoli. Do we start speaking about Zaniolo? Let me check. I said let me check, but actually it was let me check. Chuck wants to speak about Giuntoli. So what are the latest news? We have some difficulties with Giuntoli because we were all hoping that he was already free. there is an agreement with Giuntoli about the salary that he will earn at Juve. There is an agreement with Giuntoli about the contract length, how many years that he will stay at Juve. There is an agreement already with Giuntoli about the role that he will do at Juventus, so more than a sporting director. We are speaking about football chief, looking and overlooking all the different areas, so we know everything about Giuntoli. We know also, and we discovered that, because I didn't know in the past, but we discovered also that he's a big Juventino, and that's good. That's good. You know, ultimately we are speaking about so many Juventini that want to put Juventus back to the glory years, something that we were missing since a long time, feeling that Juventinità. And then, of course, you know, when at a certain moment of your history of your club you are that high, it's sometimes difficult, you know, to go and find these Juventini that are also pairing Juventinità but also marketable names and also performance on the field. So you forget sometimes a bit about that being Juve, being really Juve. Now that we are a bit more in difficulty, you have also these players that are saying, hey, I want to be part of that project. I want to give enthusiasm again to the tifosi that really needs it. Who are we speaking about? A Locatelli that 2 years ago joined Juve. We are speaking about a Parisi that really wants to go to Juve. We are speaking about a Zaniolo that spoke about it. We are speaking about the son of George Weah, that was a legend of Milan, that is a legend of Milan, but we know that he always supported Juve. We are speaking about Giuntoli Juventino, also as a sporting director, and these kind of things are making me quite happy. Again, I will repeat, it's not enough to be a Juventino, to play at Juve. Otherwise, I can go, Softic can go, Roberto Gallo can go, Amat Kurshloy can go. We have Ziad that can go to Juve because we are all Juventini. It's not enough. But that little extra that in difficult times, ragazzi, it's not bad to have at least that quality. You know, even a Danilo speaking and signing, and I will never forget that. In all my years going on as a supporter, I will never forget a Danilo that in the most difficult period of Juventus said, I don't care where Juventus will be. Serie A, Champions League, no Champions League, Conference League, will we be in Serie B? I don't care. I already extend my contract until 2026. Then you will tell me, Beppe, a finished player, is old, overrated player, blah, 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 blah. Danilo, you can say whatever you want, but anyway, it's not a Juventino, it's a Brazilian player that did Real Madrid, Manchester City. He could have gone to whatever other team he wanted. Probably not top tier level, but he could have gone to other teams in the world, or even going back to Brazil, enjoying life. No, he decided to sign in one of the most difficult moments, and these are the things that are beautiful. Then Rabiot, for example, that didn't go to other clubs. Then I saw all your comments with your theories about he didn't receive any offer, which is fake, which is not true. I can guarantee you that. I don't say he's in love with Juve, but these are beautiful sign of, look, we want to give something to Juventus because we received, like Rabiot said, I received from Juve in maybe the most difficult times of my career. I received from Juve after Paris Saint-Germain, when I was not playing at all, at Juventus in really difficult years where I couldn't give my best on the field. I was showing it in training session, but I couldn't give it during the games. Well, Juventus was there. Juventus has been there for me, has always been there for me, so I want to give back. I love these kind of things. I will continue to answer your question about Giuntoli. So everything is done with Giuntoli. The only thing that is missing is De Laurentiis freeing him. And it's not new to De Laurentiis. Do you remember the saga of Sarri when he had to go to Chelsea? He kept him to Napoli for so long before saying, okay, now you can go. He's a bit scared, huh? He's a bit scared, De Laurentiis. Kim Min-jae will go to Bayern. I told you weeks ago that he would go to Manchester United. At the end, change of route, he will go to Bayern Munich, but anyway, he's leaving. Osimhen pay attention, because if a club is coming with 150 million, Osimhen is gone. Spalletti already said, I'm gone. Now, Giuntoli, even if what is gone. So he wants to keep it as long as possible. I would not be surprised if he's freeing Giuntoli in September. Because sporting director roles are not like players. It's not that you have a mercato for sporting director. Do you remember when we were speaking about Marotta? He left, when he was at Juve, he left right after a game of Napoli. They found an agreement, it was over, and then I believe a month later or so on, he was at Inter. So you don't have the same mechanism with players and sporting directors, so you can join whatever you want to. Of course, De Laurentiis is making it difficult, because more he waits, more he's sure that Giuntoli can't start working at Juve. But anyway, whatever, if he will join, good. If he can't join, we already have our strategy of Mercato. So, thank you to MMA that became a member. Grande MMA. Thank you. Grazie. Grazie, amico mio. Really, really appreciate it. And then we have a donation from All Sweden that is coming probably also from Sweden. He's saying, good evening, my handsome friend. Do you have some update about Sergei Milinkovic-Savic? Good question. Fresh updates of today. More from yesterday. There is that rumor that is saying that even if we extended Rabiot, Juventus is still looking for an extra midfielder. So these are things that you already know, but maybe, I don't know how many times you are watching the videos and so on and so on. So if we really have to do a mini recap about Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, he's a player this last year of contract. Tare Igli apparently left Lazio. I didn't know that. I can't guarantee you 100%, but that's what I heard today, that it's not the sporting director of Lazio anymore, or he's about to leave anyway. But last year of contract of Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, that always wanted to go to Juve. If you want the insider news, the anonymous insider news, it looks like the brother that is already in Torino is already looking for a new house for his brother in Torino. So it's the brother that is taking care of it. But again, these are the blah blah, the blah blah, the blah blah, blah 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 that you can trust or not. It's always difficult for me to report, anonymous sources that are, speaking around. But if you want the facts are 1 year of contract. Lotito started asking 40 million euro. More you wait, probably more that price tag will decrease. But Juventus looks like they want another midfielder, because the midfielders that we will have are 5. Rabiot, that is now sure. Locatelli, that will not move. Fagioli, that will stay. And then you have, so Rabiot, Locatelli, Fagioli, Rovella, that will stay. Rovella will stay at Juventus. And then you have Paul Pogba. Of course, Pogba, we will understand how much he will be able to do during the season at Juventus. That's an important one, Paul Pogba. When will we discover it? Probably towards the end of July, because he will start training again on the 2nd of July. He will be the first one. That means on Sunday. That's already on Sunday. Sunday, maximum Monday, he will be in La Continasa to start training. Then on the 10th, first medical test for the players that are arriving. Then you start training around the 12th, 13th. You have a week in Italy before going to the US trip. And that's where you will really know what about Pogba. Of course, he should be in better shape than last year when he had that injury, except of new injuries. But we will discover if Pogba is one that can give you 20 games, 10 games, if it's a player that will play 2 full games and then needs to rest like 3 weeks, or if he will be able to play a new player that we really actually need. But that's 5, because Miretti is on the market and they are looking for an alternative for him. And that's why they are looking for a 6th midfielder. Can it be Sergei Milinkovic-Savic? Well, if you are looking to some sources, they are saying yes, 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 yes. I'm not sure. So I want your opinion about that, guys. What about Sergei Milinkovic-Savic? Do you think he can be compatible in the 5 other men? Rabiot, Fagioli, Rovella, Locatelli, Pogba. Can we add Sergei Milinkovic-Savic without having too many problems? I continue to say that I think it's a bit it could potentially be a bit problematic. That's my opinion. I'm looking at Gianluca Di Marzio. In the meanwhile, he's speaking about Inter with Monza that would go really closely to sign Gagliardini, ex-Inter free contract. By the way, Gagliardini, Juve fan, big Juve fan. Then we have Fratesi. There will be a meeting tomorrow in Rimini. Pay attention, tomorrow we'll have probably more news. Why? Because tomorrow there is a big kind of conference launch of Calcio Mercato in Rimini, where there is an hotel there, and all the sporting directors will be there. So tomorrow there will be a lot of contacts, and you see Inter is accelerated for the Italian market more than for the foreign market. But tomorrow in Rimini there could be another meeting between Fratesi and Carnevali and Inter. Why tomorrow? For that conference, but also because of the fact that they are about to sell Brozovic to Saudi Arabia for 23 million euros. So the first money will enter. Why? It was about to collapse, so they have a bit more certainties in terms of money, and that means that they can do they can do something. So thank you to MMA for becoming a member, Stavros for extending, and All Sweden for the donation. Really appreciate it. UG. Fino alla fine forza Juve, grande, beautiful message. I love SMS, but it's not going to work. It's the message of Softic. Hey, I'm a bit like Softic on that one. Ciao Beppe, ciao everyone, ciao Dragunj. Don Simon, SMS next year for free. This year, it's too crowded in our midfield. Well, yes and no. Yes, if we are looking at one competition only, because, guys, more and more, the rumors are saying that probably we will not play any other competition than Serie A and Coppa Italia. So if we have one competition only, of course, you are playing with 11 players plus 5 subs. Having 6 midfielders can be too much, could potentially be too much, but we are playing with 3. And don't forget that we have there a player called Pogba that we are not 100% sure about his physical health. So for me, it's not really too crowded, but of course it's true that the caliber like Sergei can potentially reduce the playing time of a Locatelli that still needs to prove himself at Juve, because you know I like the player, I believe in the player. I think he was there in an unlucky moment of a really difficult Juve where a lot of time he had to sacrifice himself, being sometimes even the extra center back. But it's true that he still needs to confirm himself, because we didn't see the fantastic Locatelli of the years of Sassuolo. We didn't see the Locatelli arriving at prime Locatelli that we want to see. So he needs to prove, and to prove himself he needs playing time. Fagioli needs continuity. Well, Rabiot is a player, and we know it, he's a starter. He starts the game and he plays every single game, especially if we have one competition only. You can be nearly sure that except of suspension, he played 38 games on 38. Rabiot is playing. Attenzione, because we have a news. A player. We have a player. A new name. We have a new name. Attenzione, we have a new name. You can guess, who is the player that Di Marzio spoke about? I give you 1 minute to guess. Let's see. Let's see if you are able to find. It's not Romero. It's not Ricci. It's not Balogun. It's not Castagna. No, it's a new name. It's not Icardi. It's not Ronaldo, the Rocky. Ciao, the Rocky. It's not Zaniolo. It's not Kyogo. It means you don't know, huh? It means you don't know, so I will tell you. I will tell you. It's not Holion. It's not Platini. I will tell you. 15 seconds more. It's not you, Alex Mare. It's not Thomas Partey. It's not Fratesi. No. It's not Maguire. It's not Parisi. It's not Singo. It's not Gabriel. It's not Berardi. I tell you, nobody was able to find it. The names are, and I will tell you, I will first read you what he said. Pimenta. Pimenta is not a player. Who is Pimenta? Pimenta is the agent of Pogba, of Holland, and other players. Ex-agency of Mino Raiola that passed away. Pimenta spoke with Juve and she offered. So it's not really a first interest from Juventus, but it's an offer. Like, if you are interested in that player, we can talk about it. And the name is... We have someone. Before I said it, we have someone that guessed it. Indeed, Samir, it is Mazraoui. Mazraoui has been put on the plate by Pimenta, present today at La Continassa. Even Nandes taken into consideration, perhaps more than Mazraoui, because he already knows the Italian language. Pogba has turned down Saudi offer. So we have 3 news here. Grande Samir, grandissimo Samir. We have 3 news here. The first one is about Mazraoui. And then I will read the message of MMA. The first one is Mazraoui. Then we have Nandes. For people who are asking who is Nandes, well, it's the player you remember that was playing at Cagliari, that was that close to join Juve, I believe, last year. Do you remember about that player? And then we have Pogba that is saying no to Saudi Arabia offers. I always told you, for Pogba, the door is not 100% closed. It's not closed 100%. Because if a big offer arrives for Pogba, and we were speaking about Saudi Arabia and so on, and if he's saying yes, probably Juventus would say, you take the decision. Because you're our highest paid player. We still have our doubts about your injury. The door is open. But we also want to keep you because we believe in you. But think about it. While for other players, like for example Fagioli, it's not even a question. Okay? But it's Pogba that is taking that decision. And Pogba, he really wants to stay at Juve because he really wants to repay what he couldn't last season. Attenzione. Let me read the message of MMA and then we go to the 3 names because Mazraoui, attenzione. I see the message already of Stavros, of Chatta, of a lot of players. You guys in the chat that are saying Mazraoui, c'est un grand oui. Ragazzi, in French, Mazraoui, c'est un grand oui. What does that mean? Mazraoui is a big yes. In French, c'est un grand oui. It's a big yes. It's a big yes. Not even thinking about it. Don't think even once. Normally you say think twice. No, not even once. You go and you take him. If on loan for 1 year with an option to buy, it's even better. MMA is telling me, thank you for the donation, MMA. Voglio mostrarti una collezione di Juve un giorno. MMA, quando ci vediamo un giorno, devi farmela vedere, altrimenti mi mandi un messaggio, mi mandi le foto della tua collezione, mi piacerebbe molto. So, grazie MMA, really appreciate it. If we see each other, but it's difficult, otherwise you show me some pictures of your collection about Juve. One day we should do that, showing the collection of Juve, would be really nice. So, Mazraoui, speaking about Mazraoui, important name, really important name, Mazraoui. Right back from Bayern Munich. Right back Bayern Munich. Let's see if there are more. Oh, we have more news. We have more news from Di Marzio this time. We go, and we will discover all of them together so that we have all the information before speaking. Juventus continue to move on the Mercato, looking for a winger, someone on the wing. Can be up, can be down, but someone on the wing. Okay. Anthony Trimboli is putting a lot of alert sign. I don't know why. Do you have a message, Anthony? So, they are still waiting for development on the negotiation with Timothy Castagni, a player that the Bianconeri, they blocked because they already have the agreement of the player. But there are also the names of Nathan Nandes from Cagliari. First of all, Nathan Nandes, it's not the same player. Huh? It's not the same player. If we go, because I remember that last year I studied him. Do you remember that we spoke about him? So, Nathan Nandes, Cagliari player, 27. It's a pit bull, huh? It's short player, 172. Short player, full of energy, running. Look, he played 33 games in Serie B last season. But he's a player that is more a midfielder that can play also on the right side of the midfield than a right back. He's not a right back. He's not a 3-5-2 player. So I don't know about Nane. I know he was really in advanced talks last season with Juve. Yeah, alla Gattuso, Dragon. A bit alla Gattuso. Oh, attenzione, let's not exaggerate. We are just speaking about, the possibility. But I'm a bit like Softic on that one. I mean, it's a player that... Why? Do we really need him? I'm not sure. Then if you tell me he's the player that you want as a sixth midfielder, cheap solution... cheap solution for him, and you take a Mazraoui, then of course DK saying take SMS and Mazraoui. Take SMS and Mazraoui. Yeah, then it's easy like that. Of course, everyone will go with SMS and Mazraoui. But if you are telling me we have 5 midfielders, we are looking for one more. If you go for him as an extra 6th choice midfielder that can also play on the right side, and you are not investing a lot because it's not a player that will cost you a lot, and with that money you go for a Mazraoui, then I say yes. But then I really consider Nandes as a 6th midfielder that is ready to give everything that he has on the legs. Attenzione. So I don't really understand what he's saying here. Waiting, blah, 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 blah. For Castagne, there is also the name of Nathan Nandes that is arriving. It's not the same player. What do you think, guys? Do we agree or not? Calestolpe says, yeah, Nandes, instead of SMS, if we need one more, center midfielder is a great option. He's the Uruguayan McKennie. Yeah. That's, yeah. Yeah, but even more aggressive. Look, the name of Nandes, if we are with our logic, the logic of GJustjuve channel, me together with you, has more sense than the logic of Di Marzio. But maybe he understood it because, it's a source, but maybe he didn't understand it. But in that case, yes. Wait, we continue because it's not over, Wait, because I'm surfing between the... I was scared that this was the third shirt of Juve, but it's not. So, wait. Let me check. I have to dribble the ads to be able to read. So, there was Timothy Castagne. He disappeared. Now we have a guy with a really strange polo. And here he's back. He's back. Nandes is back. Okay, so Juventus is continuing to monitor people for the wing. Castagne, they blocked him. They are just waiting. But they have their new name of Nathan Nandes that is actually lied by Juve. Nonostante continui a monitorare le situazioni che riguardano Castagne. Juventus is interested and they like the player Nathan Nandes, even if they are monitoring the situation of Castagne. But they are two different players. What is he speaking about? Anyway, after the meeting with Raffaella Pimenta, Piace, they like also the name of Noussair Mazraoui. That is in exit of Bayern Munich. Guys, you like Nandes and you also like, some a dessert, like here, not the main course, but the dessert Mazraoui. What is he speaking about? Mazraoui is really fantastic. He's really a player that you need. Anyway, Bianconeri, they took note of the situation, but they would prefer a player that knows Serie A. Boo. I don't get the news of Di Marzio. What is that? Okay, what are you speaking about? No. If you have the opportunity to take Mazraoui, you say oui, you say yes. You don't even hesitate. Because Mazraoui is a really good player. Really good player. At least he would be a top upgrade on that right side of the field, I tell you, if you have a Mazraoui and if you have a Wea, you can play in a 4-man defense, you can play in a 3-man defense, you can have a lot of alternatives. Look, let us check the last year of Mazraoui at Bayern. He didn't play a lot. 19 games in Bundesliga, 5 games in Champions League, 1 in DFL Super Cup, 1 in DFB Pokal. Where did he play? You see, it's really a player that is playing in a right back or left back position, can eventually also play as a center back. Dutch player from Moroccan origin. He has 2 citizenships, so he is also good because he's a European player. Thanks to his Netherlands citizenship. I told you, we wanted to speak about Giuntoli and Zaniolo. We said we have no news. Boom, Mazraoui. Look, Mazraoui I like. I tell you the truth. And even Nandes as a 6th, I like. Not or Nandes or Mazraoui. It makes no sense. Or Nandes or Castagne. This makes no sense. You can tell me or Castagne or Mazraoui. And then if the motivation is, yeah, but we prefer, I said it in French, we prefer Castagne because he knows Serie A. I like Mazraoui. But of course, what is the situation? The last update I knew from Mazraoui was that he was a player that was looking for playing time because he was not playing a lot at Bayern Munich. But apparently they found a kind of agreement with Bayern and he was taken off from the Mercato of Bayern, exit Mercato of Bayern. Apparently he's coming back on the market. Apparently now with Kim Min-jae, probably they will continue with, or they will really go now definitely towards a 3-man defense. Even if Tuchel, I am not sure if he will play that style, but they can play really with a 3-man defense and there will be less space for a Mazraoui. So could be. What is the other news that he is reporting to us? It's the one of Pogba, Paul Pogba. So let's read what he's saying about Paul, and then I will read all your comments. Hanin is saying, Nandes, lol, guy spent a year in Serie B because no club wanted him to spend peanuts to buy him. Yeah, but that's what I'm telling you. Know. If you know the history of Juve, we always bought these kind of players in our glory years. Rincon. Can you tell me, before we read about Paul Pogba, can you tell me a bit of players, like that we bought, like the 6th midfielder, the one that was bringing actually the bottle of waters to the training center? I agree with our friend Nicola from Inter. I agree with him. Hernanes. Romulo, no. It's not true, Felice. Romulo was supposed to be a starter at Juve. Then he had that big injury, and it didn't happen. But yeah, Giaccherini, for example, was not a first choice. Sturaro was not a first choice. Then Giaccherini, thanks to his work ethic, thanks to the fact that he was able to do things that none of the other ones, in terms of characteristics, could show on the field, he gained his spot. Lemina is a bit different because Lemina, when we took him, Rakan and Mateus, when we took Lemina, he was a young prospect, potential. So that's a different story. No, Arthur was not for the 6th choice, Moise. Apia, yeah, but Apia flopped at Juve. I don't know if we can consider him a 6th choice at the time, but he was not the first choice. That's true. Padoin is a good example. Pirlo. But these kind of player were like, the players that were Zalaeta, if we're speaking about another role. If you are speaking about the strikers, Zalaeta was that kind of player, even if Zalaeta played a lot of games, especially with Capello and so on. Paulson was unfortunately the one that has been chosen by Ranieri over Xabi Alonso. No, Asamoah was a starter. Sturaro is a real player like that. Sturaro, Rincon, if we are speaking about these players. Romero to Juve was a sixth choice, but Romero was a young player that he was a sixth choice actually because it was not really, there was no journey, no plan for him, and he understood it and he said, you know what, I will try to find my opportunity somewhere else. Aquilani, no, it's not true. Aquilani, no, because Aquilani came in the banter era years, and Aquilani came to be actually the player that was one of the starters at Juve. He was not seen as a big replacement. Tacchinardi is a bit different because when he stayed really long at Juve. When he came to Juve, he was also that young prospect, and then he became the player that was always seen on the bench because you had really big names in the midfield, but at the end he was the player that was playing every single game. So it was quite funny, the story of Tacchinardi. That could always be the story of Locatelli. Yeah? The player that when you are doing your starting lineup, you put Rabiot, Milinkovic-Savic and Pogba, for example, and at the end it's Locatelli that is playing, for example. Because Locatelli is playing once on the left and Rabiot is on the bench, once on the right and Pogba is on the bench, then once as a center midfielder and Sergei Milinkovic-Savic is playing on another spot, whatever, you know, that can be the story of a Locatelli. Little Mbappe, I meant that Romero could be back if Bremer is sold. I saw that news, but it has also been already disregarded or said that it's not true. There are no contacts about Romero. Why? Also because Bremer will not go to Tottenham. Tottenham that was interested in the player, but when they saw the asking price for Bremer, they gave up. Guys, tell me what you think about that one. I believe that we are seeing maybe a change in strategy. Then, today, on the 30th of June, because we just passed midnight in Belgium, I think that Juventus wants to try to hold on the asking price for the big players. In the past, when they told us, I don't know, 40, and we were asking for 80, we would have still sit down with the club. 80, 40, there is a big margin, you know, with the experience, you know that at the end they will find an agreement of 60 million euro. And Juventus would have put the pen down a bit, and the other one, they would have raised a bit the pen, you know. The problem is when you are putting down the pen, it's a problem, because then the other ones, they are going and they know that they can steal a bit. If there was an offer of 60, and you were asking for 80, of course you can negotiate because the margin is closer. The gap is not that big. But from 40 to 80 is big. And Juventus was still sitting. That means that they were not even believing in 80 offer. And that they were already showing signs of, you know what, we are open to negotiate. Now apparently they ask, I don't know how much, 60, 70 or whatever, for Bremer to Tottenham. Tottenham said, we are interested. What is the price? That's the price. And they said, oh, no. And Juventus didn't come back. They said, you don't want, pity for you. Then we keep Bremer. And I love that. I really love that. It's a bit, you know, what clubs are doing usually. That's the price. Of course, you always have that margin of negotiation, but that's the price. That's the price. Then there is a bit, but not too much. Otherwise, he stays at us. The only problem I have, LJJ is saying the pen down, but that's true. When you are putting your pen down, guys, you know what it is. Now, the problem is that we know that Juventus is not in the most healthy financial situation. If we take too long to sell McKennie, and I have news about McKennie, Zakaria, and I have news about Zakaria. If we are waiting too long to find a team for Arthur, then we will be obliged because we will have the knife on the throat. You know that expression, having the knife on the throat. That means that you have to. And then I'm scared that strategy of keeping, of holding, you will have to stop. And that's why I would not be surprised that if we are not able to put one big player at our request on the market, it will be too late. For Vlahovic, I don't believe that some clubs will come with 80 million euro. For Bremer, 60 million is already a lot. and then you have Federico Chiesa. Or you have to cash in with some other players. Ealing Jr. can bring you a lot of money. If you sell instead of loaning Sule, he can bring you some money. Not as much as Ealing, but he can bring you some money. So, no, but he can play in a four-man defense. Huh? It's not that he can't play. It's a good player. Huh? Bremer is a good player, but he has much more difficulties, and I believe he's not the same player. So actually, it's like, you know, you have I don't know. It's like you have that beautiful beanie, the fisherman beanie. It's like you have that beautiful fisherman beanie. It's wool. It's 100% wool. It's a bit thick, but it's really beautiful, you know. And it's like I would put it on with a 40 °C outside in the desert of Morocco. It's still a beautiful beanie. It still has a functionality because it's still on your head. Why not? It's still protecting in a bit from the sun, but it's not ideal. It's not ideal. It's not the best thing to put at 40 degrees outside in the desert of Morocco to put on your head, because it will be even more warm. You will sweat, you know. It's better to put, you know, these kind of hats where you have a bit of air that is going through, or a cap. That's much better. You know, like now I am sweating, you know, I put that on. It's like an oven, you know, it's like a microwave. You see what I'm telling? So Bremer is a bit like that. Fantastic player, and he will be functional, and he will be beautiful, and he will be able to play four-man defense. I really like Zaniolo, Beppe, but where do you think he fits in our team? It's difficult. Well, wait, we will come back on Pogba in a second. Let's speak about Zaniolo now. Big interview from Zaniolo on Gazzetta dello Sport this morning, 2 pages, where he said a lot of things. He said that I'm a big Juve fan, and again, there were some Roma fans that were totally triggered today by the words of Zaniolo. I don't understand it. As if Zaniolo was a Romanista or a Milan fan, or that he never said which team he was supporting. No, we know it since ever. Zaniolo never made a mystery about his faith, his love. We always knew that Zaniolo is a Juventino, and that his dream has always been to go to Juve. If you want a bit of backstory of Zaniolo, he was about, before that injury, you remember? Before that injury that he had, the first injury, he already chose the number. Huh? That number 22 would not have gone on the shoulders of Chiesa. The number 22 was for Nicolo Zaniolo. Huh? I can tell you that. Huh? It was a done deal. Zaniolo, Juve, it was a done deal. To be honest, he was a Juve player. Like Dzeko. You know that Dzeko was a Juve player. Huh? Dzeko, there was already the taxi that was outside of l'Olimpico to bring him from Roma to Torino. The taxi of Juve was waiting for him to bring him. And then Milik to Roma collapsed because De Laurentiis was stubborn. And because that deal collapsed, Dzeko to Juve collapsed. And then Dzeko went to Inter, I believe, the year after that. Because he didn't play that first game of Serie A. You know, these beautiful Mercato stories. I know, I'm sure you sometimes, you know, you kind of forget these stories that are really important. Because they are telling you sometimes that when you believe, when everything is clear and done. But Jacob is tell us more stories, Beppe. One day I will take the book of stories of football, and you know, I will try to read them, so with a really down, deep voice, so that you can fall asleep. But these stories are true, huh? Anyway, Zaniolo, he was that close, and then at the end it didn't happen. Why? Because Friedkin, they bought over Roma, and they changed everything there, and they said, you know, we don't come here, and we sell immediately our player. Then a few months later, if I'm not wrong, it was in December or January, I don't remember. He had that big injury the same day as Demiral, and then it didn't happen anymore. But Zaniolo to Juve was a true story. So he continued to say today in that double page, I'm good, I'm feeling well at Galatasaray, I'm doing well, I have no problems of staying here. If Juve is calling, Galatasaray, they know already. Probably he already told them when he signed, guys, I stay with you 2 years, 3 years, 10 years. I become la bandiera de Galatasaray, except if Juve comes. Probably he told them. Because his dream is to go at Juve. His idol, Paul Pogba, as a kid. Then, not only that, because if you're speaking about Zaniolo, he said, I would love to play with Keane. Well, to answer Rico, what I'm scared about is that when he's saying Keane is an underrated player, I agree with him. Often he's criticized for nothing. I agree with that. Keane is the player that you criticize because you have to criticize. Even if he's doing okay, you criticize Keane. But and then there are some games where he deserves to be criticized, of course. But then you criticize Moise Keane. He said, for nothing, he's a calm guy, a relaxed guy. I would love to play with him at Juve or Galatasaray. Ragazzi, I tell you the truth, this is something that makes me a bit scared. This is a bit, it makes me a bit scared. Mamma mia. Because they were one day with La Nazionale, the Italian national team, and both arrived late at the training session, and it was not the first time. They were in the same room, and then they went a lot of time too late at the training session, and then they were for months, for really long months, they were banned from national team because they were respecting nothing. They were just joking. They were having really fun time. I'm a bit scared to see both of them together. Would be a bit scary for me. But anyway, it's a player that can play different positions. And here again, that's my problem with Zaniolo. I don't know where he's playing. Today, I don't know yet what is the best position of Zaniolo. Because sometimes if you are going to the past, they tell me, but Zaniolo is a mezzala. Allegri believes that he has a future in a mezzala, in a three-man defense, in a three-man midfield, the one that is going up and down, left or right. Anyway, sometimes they are telling me, but Beppe is great in a 4-3-3 up front. Sometimes as a second striker. So that's a bit difficult for me to understand with position then, that the guy has qualities, and obviously that he will do everything because he's at Juve. I'm sure about it. Would I be happy if he signed? In a way, yes, because the guy is not bad. But then if you're looking at also whatever and wherever he's going in terms of stats and so on, he's not a clinical player, and we need a bit of players now that are clinical. Imagine if you have Moise Keane and Zaniolo up front, mamma mia, we don't score, not even with the hands, not even if they are able to take the ball in the hands and put it in the net, we score. And we have a problem there. But anyway, Thomas, in Allegri's eyes, we are all wing backs or mezzala. It's true, he's always putting people, a bit more in the back. But so it's difficult. I don't know. I can't answer that question today. If he comes, I'm totally lost in how we will play in the future. I have no idea. So before going to Pogba, there is someone that asked me, Beppe, can you speak a bit about the exit market? Well, I told you that I had some news about exit players. So Arthur will not play, but will not stay. We know it since always. The only chance for Arthur to stay at Juve was that there was a new management, a new coach, a new team, whatever, everything new, and that there was someone that was in love with Arthur. Maybe because, I don't know, he was in love when they were kids at school with the mother, and he knew the kid, and maybe it's the real father of Arthur, and then maybe he had a chance to stay. Maybe. But other than that, ragazzi, it has been clear, but he said it himself. I will go back to Juve because Liverpool will not extend me, but I don't believe I will stay there. But I can promise one thing, wherever I will be, it will be the best year of my career. Anyway, at the moment we didn't find any team for Arthur, but Zakaria, on Monday, there should be serious talk about him going to West Ham, and apparently it can be decisive. I'm not telling you that on Monday it will be signed, but probably a real agreement, final agreement with the player and also kind of with Juventus on Monday. So Zakaria could be the first one really going out of Juve permanently. We spoke about the numbers, kind of 18 million euro, which is absolutely not bad. Srikar, Beppe, you always talk about players that we are linked with. Why don't you tell player that you like? But why should I do that? Why should I give even more hope to people? We are in a difficult period. Let's speak about the players that we are linked with. Ragazzi, I'm not doing fantasy mercato. If you want to do fantasy mercato, that's not today. One day we will do it, especially for Srikar. We do a live, especially with Srikar, and I will tell him I like Courtois in the goal. I like Mbappe up front. I like whatever you want. Holland as well. And I like Toni Kroos. Ragazzi. Anyway, let's go back. Zakaria is what I told you. Then, the other one that I heard, the news, Milan sources. So it's not a Juve source. It's Milan sources. I have no idea if it's true or not, ragazzi. So, I heard that Milan is thinking to do a USA team. They are talking about Pulisic. They are talking about Musa. It's good. Mamma mia, it's good. Mamma mia, this player is really, really good. At the moment, only talks. But Pulisic, Musa, they just signed. I believe it's a done deal. They are speaking about a done deal with Loftus-Cheek. That is not a USA player, it's English player, but anyway, it's the language, English. And then, yeah, you saw also that strange news that Milan could potentially be interested in Weston McKennie. At first, I was like, that's strange. But then I was thinking, look, Mon, American team, really odd, because Americans. But then I think, they have an ownership that is American. They want to increase their marketing. Can you imagine a Milan owned by USA persons that has Pulisic, Musa, Weston McKennie? In terms of marketing, especially in USA, Brooklyn will go crazy. Yeah? They will put Milan on the map again. Is already, because Milan is already known and supported. Of course, you have a lot of Milanisti, but if they can do that, they can reach a big, huge new generation of USA supporters, which is not bad. Then on the field, I don't know what they will give. And then apparently, in that strange rumor, they were saying about Kalulu. Ragazzi, Kalulu is a player that I saw his first ever game against Juve, and I was impressed with that player. Every time I see Kalulu, he's doing well. Then it's true that I saw a few games of him that were really strange. Ultimately, I don't know. I think he's a bit in a decreasing phase at the moment, but it's super young, and it's a kind of player that could possibly help Juventus. Kalulu can play in different roles, center back, but also right back. But I don't believe that source, I didn't believe it was also coming from a Milan source. But then the logic of Milan being interested in Weston McKennie could be true. Milinkovic, fuori uno. Milinkovic, one has to go out. La Juve deve vendere pure Arthur e McKennie. So, Zaccaria verso la Premier, I told you, So Zaccaria towards Premier League. Scatta l'operazione per arrivare al laziale. But, look, they are speaking about Sergei, They don't give up with Sergei. So Zaccaria is going to Premier, what I just told you is about to be confirmed. And then they're starting the plan for the Lazio player Milinkovic. But if they want to, they need to put one out. When they say one out, it's not Arthur and McKennie. I don't know who it is. That we will see tomorrow. Tomorrow watch the video because we will tell you. We will tell you who it will be that needs to go out. Here they continue. Juve needs also to sell Arthur and McKennie. I believe it will be Miretti. Miretti on loan. The Saudi Arabian teams are on Pogba. At the moment, it's a no. Still too low the offer for Paul Pogba that arrived from Saudi Arabia. They will speak again about it in January. Meeting with Empoli. The names on the plates are Parisi and Miretti. Giuntoli, the day of the truth. Okay, so we are going towards, we had no news towards, we have a lot of news. Pogba that said no. Ragazzi, you know what? I didn't think about that solution. I'm a bit stupid today. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm a bit tired, I'm a bit late, it's warm, I don't know. But it's true that Paul Pogba, I would keep him. I already wanted to keep him. But I would even keep him because then you have a market in January. If you are playing one competition only, Serie A and Coppa Italia, if really, hopefully not, but if really he's not able to be consistent, not able to play his games, you don't see an evolution, we see that he can't be the player that we want him to be, in January, he can also understand that probably it's time for him to stop with high-level football and maybe going to Saudi Arabia with a huge offer. Look, for me that would be even smart from everyone's side. Not bad. Then Giuntoli, the day of the truth. I don't believe really in the day of the truth because I tell you, could be tomorrow, but of course could be also on the 15th of July. Why not? It's not like a player mercato. So yeah, I don't know why, guys. I don't know why. It's always the same. I don't know why. Well, at night, like here, then I'm cold. Tarak, we need SMS. He's a top player. No, of course he's a top player. Let's check what Di Marzio said. So this is Rafaela Pimenta, Brazilian agent. So during the meeting between Juve and Rafaela Pimenta to speak about Paul Pogba, there are absolutely no signs that the midfielders can leave. Even if there was an offer from Saudi Arabia that they didn't take into consideration. The French, on top of it, will be present at the training session in anticipation respect to all the other friends. With Rafaela Pimenta, Juventus also spoke about Mazraoui, that is in exit of Bayern Munich. The Bianconeri take note of it, but at the moment the preference will be on a player of the Serie A, or at least a player that knows about Serie A. Castagn, for example. Okay. Jacob, he's 29. He's past his prime. Who? Give Miretti, Sule, Ranocchia on loan 1 year for Parisi with a low pay. No, that's a lot. If you want Parisi news, the latest news are that on Monday there could be again also a meeting. Tomorrow. I told you that everyone is in Rimini. Tomorrow can be a really great one, because tomorrow not only there will be an official news from Juve side. Ragazzi, I told you, tomorrow is the 30th. I gave you two names. I gave you the name of Rabiot and I gave you the name of Quadrado. And I told you that everything had to happen this week, latest Friday. Do you remember the video of Monday? And I told you, ragazzi, that's an important one because or they extend or they leave. Rabiot extended. I didn't see any contract extension for Quadrado. So if you are thinking logically, tomorrow could be potentially the official goodbye to Juan Quadrado. So, but on top of that, tomorrow in Rimini there could be a meeting for Parisi. The president of Empoli speaking, say, oh, there was no offer from Juve. They like him, but there was not there are some offers from Parisi, but not from Juve. I believe it's exaggerating a bit because he wants his money, but we are really speaking about a kind of 8 million plus 2 million bonus plus Ranocchia, or 10 million plus 2 million bonus without players. Or there can be some talks with Empoli about Sule, about Miretti on loan. So there are some players, Ranocchia, Miretti, for Parisi. So I'm happy in a way that Italy, the under-21, they lost. I didn't speak about it this morning, but I'm kind of happy that they lost and they were eliminated from the tournament, because I was already pissed off that we had a lot of players that were playing there. Miretti, even if he didn't play a lot, but Miretti, Rovella, Cambiaso was there as well. Then you have a Parisi that can potentially be our player. So, you know, if they had to go until the end of that tournament, well, they would have played there, no vacation, coming back to Juve. You never had that stop. So now I'm happy. Look, we are yesterday, 2 days ago they lost. So yesterday they were already, so today for the people in US, they were already off. And then they will have time until the 10th. So we are speaking about still 12 days of really rest and holiday before starting again. They already had a bit of free time before, and now they will continue. So, no, I'm happy. But I'm also happy because until some players are with the national team, sometimes it's delaying a bit the talks, the concrete talk, because there are some players are saying, I'm really, really focused on my tournament, so I don't want to be disturbed with Mercato voices after the tournament. We can speak about it. So if I'm a bit selfish, I'm happy that Italy has been eliminated so that we can accelerate. And Parisi is a good player. I don't see Parisi as the starter at Juve if we play that kind of 3-4-2-1 or 3-4-1-2 or 3-5-2. I don't see it because then I would see more a Kostic on the left that is the starter in that 3-4-1-2, with Parisi being his bench player, rotational player, but also a player that if we have to go during the season and evolve towards a four-man defense, he can play there. But he can also play in that 3-5-2 going up and down, but I believe that one, the starter, is Kostic. I never heard any voice about a team interested in Kostic. What I heard is that if there is an offer, they would think about it. Alessandro Beppe showed us the formation 4-2-1. 4-2-3-1, I think this is the best way to play all players in a perfect role. But we don't know yet who will be there, who will not be there. So it's a tough one. But yeah, what I did last time with Pogba, they're a bit more higher. He can play that role. You know what's the problem? It's not about he's a starter or not a starter with under 21. It's the fact that the coach was not letting him play. He preferred to play players like Tonali. That I don't know what he was doing there. I believe he was losing the time of everything. If they wanted really to go with senior players of 23, because I believe Tonali is now 22 or 23, but if they wanted to go with these experienced player for an under 21 tournament, it's really a pity, because you are blocking the career of young players that want to show something for players that has nothing to do there, because you already played so many games with the first national team. I believe it's a bit stupid. Then if you do, it's because you're really convinced that you can go and win. But then if you are eliminated and you just won one game against Switzerland, that you were winning 3-0 because of a disaster start of Switzerland, and they just came back at 3-2. I don't know. And by the way, when he entered, he did really well. Miretti, Steve. When he entered, he did really well. But he did, huh? He did in the beginning of the season. Some people, they forgot. In the beginning of the season, we played 4-3-3. That's what we did, huh? In the beginning of the season. And then you had a Kostic that had the task to come a bit more back, and you transform into a 4-4-2, but he was also kind of playing that 4-3-3. It's not his ideal role. It's not his ideal role, but he can, yeah. Oh, Kefren Thuram, guys, there were never really talks about him at Juve. And there was one day a small article in Tuttosport that I was really happy because it was like 1 or 2 days after I spoke about it on the video, just giving a name like that, but never serious concrete talks, guys. Solid player, really great. I don't think he can come here. I don't know, Roberto. Good question. So, we spoke about Giuntoli. We spoke about Zaniolo. I continue. We spoke about Pogba. We spoke about Mazraoui. I tell you, Mazraoui for me would be a big yes. Again, 25 years old. Experience in the Netherlands. Experience at Bayern Munich. Player that is looking for more space. Agent Pimenta Raffaella knows Juve really, really well. So there are some good things there about him. Then we have also to pay attention, because they took him for free, so it should not be a really high fee that they are asking if they want to ask something. Otherwise, would be nice that one day also Bayern Munich is also giving us a favor, because buying the Ligt with a deduction, taking Douglas Costa on loan back, and Vidal, that was not the most paid player ever, Coman, and so on, would be nice if one day they can also be a bit kind with us, Bayern, not only Juve being kind with them. Softage, why does it feel like we are going to continue with a 3-5-2? Really hate the feeling of Chiesa leaving and not having a place in the team. If anyone should be sold, it should be Vlahovic. The problem is that there are no big offers for Dusan Vlahovic. What are the offers of Dusan Vlahovic? There are two teams that were really concretely on Vlahovic. Bayern Munich, but looks like they are going towards other options, or they took themselves back. And you hear the name of Osimhen, even if Bayern, I never believe they will spend 150 million for a player. But anyway, Chelsea, they want everyone. So is it really a team that we can really take into consideration for Vlahovic? I don't know. And then I heard also about Real Madrid on Dusan Vlahovic, but they want him on a loan, even if they have to pay the loan like 15-20 million euro for the loan only of Vlahovic with an option to buy. Pay attention, pay attention, because I know the joke there. If this is true, because I don't know, but if this is true, this is the biggest troll of ever that I can already anticipate. If they do that, you know what? They are paying you a loan, Vlahovic, 15-20 million euro for one season. Then, even if he plays really well, they give it back and they go for Kylian Mbappe. So forget about him. Forget about him. Forget about I would not. Ciao Del Baggio. I would not. Then if what was I speaking again about? I forgot. About the players outgoing. Chiesa, honestly, now I will speak against Chiesa. Chiesa should be a bit more calm. He should be a bit more calm. if the rumors are true, because I believe that we are inflating the case Federico Chiesa, and it's always coming from the same source. Marco Guidi, Gazzetta dello Sport, and Fabiana Della Valle, Gazzetta dello Sport. Both of them, every day, boom, Federico Chiesa can leave. Federico Chiesa, can he leave? Yes, he can. It's not a lie that he can leave, because if the right offer arrives around 60 million euro for Federico Chiesa, and that he wants to leave, he could potentially leave. And Juventus would not say no, because we need to sacrifice a big player. So on that one, it's true. But that's it. At the moment, Chiesa didn't ask to leave. Chiesa didn't ask to have 8 million euro salary. Chiesa, yes, he spoke about the fact that he prefers to play from the left side of the field entering. Yes, but these are tactical things. Chiesa comes from a big ACL injury where we waited more than expected, because during the revalidation he had another mini stop, you remember, that extended his comeback on the field. We waited until the end of November to see him back against Paris Saint-Germain for the first time, a few seconds. Then we waited. After the World Cup, we started to see Federico Chiesa. He played a lot of games, but how many games did we see of Federico Chiesa at top level? Then you can tell me, yeah, but I believe, and I will be unpopular now, I will be really unpopular, but I believe that Allegri had to adapt, also because Chiesa was not coming back. Allegri, I see Daniel that is saying, I see no reason Chiesa staying for Allegri. It's all bullshit. I will tell you one thing. Yeah, they could potentially be not on the same page, but ragazzi, Capello and Del Piero were also not on the same page. And if you go back in time, how many players were not on the same page? Then you criticize. We want to see criticize, then we can criticize also Marcello Lippi with Roberto Baggio. So many coaches had problems with some, and then they can continue to play. Then sometimes they take decisions. Del Piero stayed at Juve. Roberto Baggio left. There are so many multiple stories, but that's not the problem. Today, the thing of Federico Chiesa is that Federico Chiesa was not ready. He was not ready. And I believe that Allegri started with the idea of a 4-3-3. If you go back to the journey of 22-23, Allegri starts with a 4-3-3, and when he sees that Pogba is not there, when he sees that Chiesa is not there, that Di Maria has not the start that we are wishing, because at the 60th minute of Juve Sassuolo, he has that small injury, is continuing with that 4-3-3, understanding that he had no left and no right back, but he wants to continue because he's waiting for them to come back. Until a certain moment of the season, we understand that they are not coming back. And they are absolutely not coming back until January. And that's where at a certain moment he's going towards that 3-5-2. Not because he doesn't like Chiesa, he doesn't want to give a chance to Chiesa, but just because Chiesa was not there. This is the reality. Then we can speak bad about Allegri, we can speak bad about Allegri. We have so many things to say bad about Allegri. But on this one, 22-23, I would love to stop speaking about Chiesa being a small kid that is crying. I think it's a bit made bigger than the actual situation. The actual situation is, if you're looking at the last game that Juventus played, Federico Chiesa played his real game and the real level of Federico Chiesa against Udinese. Mancini did the same, disaster formation first game, then he played the second game. Federico Chiesa entered 10 minutes, he was a goal, then he scored that fantastic goal and he's doing a fantastic performance. I believe that Federico Chiesa should just put everything aside and think about one thing. Coming back now in season 23-24, and also him, like we were speaking about Paul Pogba, giving everything on the field and proving all of us that we waited for something. That's what I believe. Then we can speak about 3-5-2, 4-3-3. I tell you what I believe. What I believe is I think we will start with a 3-5-2 to evolve really fast towards a 4-3-3 or a 4-3-1-2, whatever you want to. No, Softic, I'm not avoiding that wingers can't work under Allegri, because it's not even true. It's not even true. Juventus, if you're looking at Douglas Costa, if you're telling me that Douglas Costa was not performing under Max, it's not true. Douglas Costa was not performing because he was a crystal clear, it was a guy made of glass. We all know it. But when Douglas Costa was playing under Allegri, he was fantastic, huh? Ragazzi, what are we speaking about? Seriously. Di Maria adapted in that kind of 3-5-1-1. But I just explained you why we adapted towards the 3-5-1. Also because Di Maria was not at top level, because Chiesa was not there, because this. But I remember a Max Allegri that played in all the possible formations. Then if you tell me that Max Allegri is not an offensive coach, that is not a coach that is thinking only about offensive patterns, I agree with you. You are correct. If you are telling me that strikers, number 9s, are underperforming with Allegri, then I tell you that's true. That's true. Strikers, a la Vlahovic, are underperforming with Max Allegri. That's true. That's correct. That's correct. Because that we have really proven facts. They are scoring less, even Cristiano Ronaldo. That was not playing as a number 9 at Juve, but that's true. That's correct. But wingers, no, sincerely, no. But it's not about goals or not goals, Softic. Douglas Costa was fantastic at Juve when he played. Douglas Costa was always injured, but when he was playing, and by the way, if you're looking at the stats of Douglas Costa also with other teams, it's not like Douglas Costa was a big scorer. He has never been a big scorer. I remember interviews of Douglas Costa saying, I don't care about scoring. I prefer doing assists. I have more joy or satisfaction of doing an assist than a goal. Ragazzi. But also Coman, when Coman played with Max Allegri, he was showing some beautiful performance as a high winger. Then the club decided that it was the moment to cash in with him because that was an opportunity, and they did. But then, yes, it's true that you see less these players shining because we are less offensive. That's a reality. The only big problem I see with Max, there are a lot of problems, especially the last 2 years. But really, when you tell me what is the weakest point of Max Allegri, probably I will tell you, it's making sure that the number 9 is performing, because he doesn't care about the number 9. For him, the number 9 should not be the one that is, yeah, but look at the minutes, Softies, mamma mia, but you watch the games of Douglas Costa. I watch them as well, and by the way, he also played with Sarri, if I'm not wrong, Douglas Costa. Ragazzi, Douglas Costa is one of my favorite players. Don't tell me. I know how he played. He played and then he was injured. And don't forget, in these 100 games, he nearly never played all of them. Nearly. And then on top of that, there were some games with another coach. On top of that, Douglas Costa, don't forget, it's a player that when you are coming back from injury, repetitive, always injury, when you are coming back, well, you are not performing at top level. Now we are confusing a lot of things. No, you can speak about a lot of players, not about Douglas Costa. Let me say thank you to Mohamed Youssef, 20 months on the channel. I believe 352 is enough plan for Serie A. We don't have, thank you, Mohamed. We don't have any Europe this season. That makes 4-3-3 is must. He better stay on a base formation. I don't believe that he will do that. I'm sure, myself, I am sure that Allegri will probably start the season as he finished with a 3-man defense, of course depending also on the Mercato, and evolving quite fast with a 4-man. Write it down, whoever is there, Softic if you want to, then we speak about it, Thomas, because I know you are the loyals on the channel. I think that if not immediately, I really believe, depending also a lot of Bremer, but I really believe, Bremer or not Bremer, we start with a 3-man defense and really fast. And when I'm saying really fast, give me... In the 10 games of Serie A, we go towards a 4-man. I'm nearly sure about that. I'm nearly sure about that. Nearly. Sir Raz just came. Grande, sir. No. But it's not to speak like we play too defensively. It's correct. The attacking strikers, when we are playing that defensively, it's correct. Of course, when you're scoring, how much did we score this year? 80 goals in all competitions. While you should have scored 120, of course you are shining less. But this year, who really played there up front? When we thought that Ealing Jr. could have played much more, injured because of Di Francesco, then an inflammation to a scar. I believe that this year Allegri did a lot wrong, and I continue. I'm not defending Allegri. For me, Allegri, I told you, and I repeat you, for me, Allegri, the best decision that he could do was leaving Juve. The best decision that Juventus could do was stopping with Allegri. It was the best thing that could happen. Now, they decided together to continue. I will support Max Allegri. Now, it's not a thing of hate or not hate. Do I believe that he can do better? I will start with, it will be difficult to do worse in terms of performances. Then in terms of result, don't forget, we finished 3rd in Serie A. If we are really honest, with all the things that happened, we could have finished 2nd, not 1st. I really believe that he's stubborn in showing that he can win again with Juve. That's really what I believe. And if someone is as crazy to refuse 100 million euro over 3 years to stay in an environment that is really toxic towards him, and every time here, and I know, we are speaking about Mercato, we are speaking about, and then we finish always to Allegri. And it's normal, and it's totally normal. But you are, and he knows, he's aware of it. He decided to say no to 100 million euro. To stay in an environment that are hating him. A lot of players are not 100% agreeing with him. The management is not 100% sure about him, according to the rumors. He's deciding to stay. If he has that craziness, well, at least he will show us a bit. At least the motivation to do something is there. I hope he will not be stubborn in wanting to prove that he can win with his football. This is the mistake that Allegri should avoid at all cost. Personally, yeah. He should avoid at all cost to be stubborn to say I will play with my football. Or at least with the football that we saw in the 2 last years. Let's see what will happen. Let's see. I'm really curious about the year of Allegri. I don't believe that suddenly he will become a tiki-taka coach or an offensive-minded coach. But hopefully he can show us that if Juventus is now stopping with Quadrado, they don't consider Alexandro a player anymore. We are rejuvenating these wingers. Hopefully we can also go really towards another way of playing. Whatever, if it's a 3-5-2, I don't care. Because here we are speaking about 4-3-3, 3-5-2. I repeat it, I don't care about that. Honestly, I don't care. You can play with a 4-3-3 with your regista that has one task is to cover the back of your center defender. And suddenly you become with a 5-man defense. Your 4-3-3 becomes a 4-man defense with your 2 wingers up front, offensive wingers that are dropping down. And you become what? You become a 5-4-1. as easy as that. That 4-3-3 becomes a 5-4-1. Because it's a mentality. You can play with a 3-5-2 a la Antonio Conte first year after Juve Napoli, when he's making that switch towards a 3-5-2, and that 3-5-2 becomes quite easily a 3-3-4 with your two wingers or fullbacks, how we call them now, that are going up. So it's quite easy. It's quite easy. It's a mentality. So for me, it's not really the 3-5-2 or the 4-3-3 problem. It's the mentality. And that's what Allegri needs to change. That he wants to stay, I'm fine with that at the end. Okay, if he has the motivation, if he believes that he can do it and whatever he wants to, grande, go for it. Show us. You have to do better. You have to do absolutely better. Show us. But I prefer a guy that really wants to show us than someone that is coming and we don't know. But at least the passion is there. Then, Max Allegri needs to be less stubborn in how he's imposing the game, how he's actually mirroring the other teams. That's the thing. That's the thing that Max Allegri needs to pay attention for. Because adapting to teams in their way of playing, when you're playing against Real Madrid, against Manchester City, I can understand. Not when you're playing Monza, Benevento, Cagliari. That's a problem. That's a problem. And that's why we were all really angry this season. Because we were not bringing results at home in terms of titles, 1. 2, if you don't bring the results, but on top of that, you have no entertainment, no football idea. If you have to mirror a team like Monza, and on top of that, you are losing against Monza, and I'm not even speaking about you injure players, about off the field. We don't care about that. It's just the thing here. And then we have a problem. But Hamid, you can believe whatever you want to. You can believe whatever you want to, Hamid. I'm not the one that is telling you what you have to believe or not. But I believe sometimes when judging, it's super important to say, you know what, I'm a adult person. I don't know, maybe you're not an adult person, but let's say a mature person. I don't like a coach. I don't like a player. I want them out, whatever. But I'm able in analyzing to stop hate aside and let's analyze the situation. If the entire world of expert journalists are telling us that Max Allegri received offers and he said no, then you can say, I don't believe, I don't know, Monblano. It's a showman, it's someone that is anticipating, sometimes he's right, sometimes he's wrong, I don't believe him. Okay. I don't believe Di Marzio because since a few years, since Beppe Marotta is not there anymore, a lot of time he doesn't know about Juve. And okay. I don't believe, Beppe on the channel because he's working for Juve and he wants to manipulate. Okay, why not? I don't believe Gazzetta dello Sport because it's a pink paper that is hating Juve. And okay. But ragazzi, if they are all telling you that, Fabrizio Romano, Romeo Agresti, all the sources are telling you he received offers, and if you refuse them, then ragazzi, then if you say I don't believe, ragazzi, then why are you here on the channel to speak with me? What is the starting point? Why are we even discussing? Then it makes no sense to put three big stop signs to tell you. Then probably you are looking for attention, Hamid, so that I can speak to you. That's what you are looking for, but it's not serious what you are saying. Okay, Beppe, I don't know. Ragazzi, Beppe, please tell us your opinion about the Di Maria's comment on Sule's photo. The first thing I saw was funny, of course. It was funny because it's a discussion between them. I don't overreact immediately. Why? Because, we don't live the spogliatoio, the changing room. Maybe it's a joke that they made in the beginning of the year because Allegri said to him, to Sule, probably, sei il mio figlioio, you are my son, my little son. Maybe a joke from Allegri to him, and since that day, they call in the dressing room, they call him his father. Maybe. We don't know. We don't know the inside backstories. The only thing, of course, is when you're putting these kind of things openly, well, people will react. People, they don't know, they will jump into conclusion, they will do. For me, it's friendly, like Chanter is saying, or Chuck is saying, it's friendly banter. I laughed, I smiled, it was really funny. I see no problems with that. Then, that Max Allegri and Di Maria were not the best friends on earth, I think it's a given. I think it's a given. I believe it's also because of Max, because he was not able to use him towards the end of the season as we wanted. But then, ragazzi, I love Di Maria, but we all said it. From the 1st of April, Di Maria was gone. It's the same player that was fantastic in that period after World Cup, after World Cup, January until April. In these 3 months and a half, 4 months, it's not that he was coached by Klopp. It's not that there was De Zerbi. It was Allegri. So in these 4 months, fantastic Di Maria in terms of time management, game management, it was tactics, it was the same. Then he came back, he disappeared. I watched him with my eyes. Juve Inter Coppa Italia. He plays, he didn't care. And his buddy Vlahovic the same. So but no, these kind of jokes, it's funny. The only thing, and it's not even a Juve player anymore, so he's doing whatever he wants. But for me, sometimes we are overreacting without really knowing. Guys, I know a lot of things in advance sometimes, and then I see the papers, then I see the comments, and I'm laughing. I know some inside story that in 10 years, when I'm not working for Juve anymore, I can tell you some inside stories about Rabiot, about these kind of things. In 10 years, if I still have a channel, we will laugh with Paulo Dybala, Cancelo, and so on and so on. One day I will tell you, but in 10 years, not today. Good night, Beppe. It's Friday, baby. Well, I was about to close. 1 hour 30. We spoke about a lot of things. What is Thomas saying? Adapting tactically is like a camouflage, but if you are always camouflage, you never truly existed by showing your true colors. It becomes a weakness. Yes, I agree 100%. Because, that's actually what I blame. What I blame to Max Allegri is this. I have always Max Allegri 1.0. I have always praised Max Allegri for having that fantastic skill of adapting to other teams, to read the game before the game was happening. It's a skill that is really rare. He knows how the other team was playing, and he has always been able to adapt and to pay attention and to change these little tweaks and tricks that would annoy the other team so that they would play less good. Fantastic. But the problem is when you are focusing 90% of your time on that and you are not focusing on what you have to do, because then it becomes a weakness, because then your behavior on the field is waiting for the team, for the other team, and that's also why they have more possession than Juve. Give them the ball, we know how to hurt them. And then if it works, good. If it doesn't work, like this year and the year before, we have a problem. Mohamed Youssef in closing time. Goal al 90esimo. A goal at the 90th minute for Mohamed Youssef with 5 memberships offered. Grande Mohamed Youssef that is offering it randomly to Punsara 2007, to Roberto Gallo, to Esper, to Youssef Mirmo, to Mohamed El Mejrab. Thank you guys. By the way, I forgot, for all the Muslim community, Eid Mubarak. It was yesterday, I believe. Sometimes I'm a bit confused because, I don't understand all the different religions and when they are celebrating and so on. But anyway, celebrate as good as you can. Thank you, Muhammad Yusuf. Thank you. Really appreciate it. We have a colleague of mine, Benve, that is always going to the stadium in Curva Sud, that is asking, Beppe, what are you thinking about Mazraoui? Benve, te lo dico in francese. Mazraoui, c'est un grand oui. Che vuol dire Mazraoui è un grande sì. Mazraoui, c'est un grand oui. A me piace molto. A me piace moltissimo, dopo non so se è vero, no? Però Mazraoui forte. Here we go. Thank you, Mohammed. Ciao Marcello. That was it. Closing time. It was fantastic. I had a really nice live together with you guys. I told you, we have nothing to say. That was the beginning of the live. The people that will watch in replay tomorrow morning, people, our friends from Indonesia, people from Australia and so on, when they will watch the channel tomorrow, they will say, hey, they will watch the beginning, there was nothing to say, and then they will miss a big part of it. But it was nice, huh? Ciao to Mohamed Youssef, ciao to Esper, ciao to Dragunj, to Mark Camilleri Naudi, ciao to Suraz, to Ahmad. Hey, Suraz, you know what we should do, Suraz? We should share our email and we should do a Google Drive or something like that, where we can share, every time that we say something and so on and so on. That would be great. Hey, we should do that. That would be a great one. Ciao Locatelli, ciao Bogdan, ciao Pessi. I like that, huh? But my email is really easy to find. You find it in the description. giuseppe.bognanni@me.com. Ciao a tutti, grazie forza. Ciao Anthony Schifano. Ciao, grazie forza. Juve. Ciao ragazzi. Ciao Vavab. Ciao Aldo. Ciao Jasko. Ciao Rasmus. Did we have a bit of likes today? Hey, we missed 3. Did we reach? By the way, did we reach? I was thinking that we could potentially reach 2600. We didn't. We reached 20. We were at 2690 before the live. $26,093. Tomorrow is a new day. Abab, we missed it, huh? It's true, we totally missed. Siamak as well, we missed, because if I show the videos, we were in a fantastic positive streak. Look, I show you, huh? You see, the positive streak started morning videos, huh? With this one, 593. Then we had this one, 514, 541, 601, 772 likes, 710, 731, 699, 582, 657 likes, and this one 444. It was the video of yesterday, but then I went with Here We Fly, and I knew it would not be. We are missing 46 likes. No. 56 likes to hit 500. Today we didn't reach it, huh? Neither. Today we are at 465. Ragazzi. In the video of today. So the last 2 videos, we didn't reach 500. That's a real big pity. Yeah. No, we didn't. We can't start again. Except if you go after the live of now, you stop, you go to the last 2 videos, the one of the Juve Dream and In and Out, maximum of like, and then you close. At least we reach them. Ciao ragazzi, grazie, forza Juve.